Good day, family. Ron Holland here, host of Community Voices on 105.3 R&B and, of course, Praise 100.9. I am absolutely excited to have in the studio with me this morning Tish Guerin, Director of Player Wellness for the Carolina Panthers. She has an exhaustive resume. I mean, exhaustive resume. She has a whole row of letters behind her name. So she is certainly an extraordinary talent. Tish, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, it appears that the window has closed for the Carolina Panthers.
Just a bit.
How are you guys taking the loss?
Losses are hard in general. And, you know, this was our sixth game.
Yeah.
So naturally, you know, people are going to have their feelings about it. Players, you know, personnel. But the Carolina Panthers are a very resilient team.
Absolutely.
So I have no doubt that we'll be able to just bounce back. We'll regroup, refocus, and just be ready to go again. Now,
Cam has some problems with his shoulder. Was that a significant factor in Monday's game?
I cannot speak to that.
Okay. Now let's talk about the holidays, because I'm excited. You know, I get childish around this time of year. Yeah, I'm expecting a lot of presents under my tree, and my wife knows it. And I'm not certain if she went out, because I didn't see her go shopping yet. So
yeah. You might not have anything wrong. You might get a lump of coal. Be careful.
But Christmas is fast approaching, and I know the team is doing some extraordinary work in the community. Talk a little bit about the organization's efforts in our community.
So a lot of what they've done is like My Cause for Cleats. So that's what, you know, we just had go on this past game. And there a lot of the players did various different organizations. So like you had the Cam Newton Foundation, Ian Thomas did, you know, Cleats for Autism. There was just a plethora of just community outreach. I think that's one of the things that, you know, I really love about being, you know, part of the Carolina Panther organizations is the amount of effort that they put into, you know, the community. As you know, I'm a Charlotte native, so it just warms my heart to be able to see how much we give back as far as time, money, and resources. So there are, you know, just a chunk of things that go on all year round as far as just activities. Some of them I'm aware of, and some of them I don't find out until like, oh wow, I missed that. That I'm kind of, you know, learning thus far. But, you know, I think the biggest time that, you know, I have seen spent just, you know, the past couple of months that I've been here is, you know, really with Levine Cancer Institute. So, you know, I went with the rookies, and we, you know, provided gifts and toys and candy, you know, to the children during Halloween. So they dressed up. So there's just a lot of different, you know, multifaceted, you know, types of activities that go on throughout the year. So
talk to us about how the players are impacted by their outreach in the community. Obviously, this is something that's really close to their hearts.
Could you be a little bit more specific?
Well, when these guys are going out to various outreach programs, you know, obviously there are sick children. Obviously, there are children who are coming from a disadvantaged background. How are the players dealing with those kind of things?
Well, I think for each player is something that's close to their heart. So, you know, again, like with My Cause, My Cleats, you know, players pick things that they had a passion for and that, you know, have impacted them in some type of way. So I think by giving, you know, by reaching out and participating in those things that are, you know, they internalize that. You know, that's going to make them, you know, feel good. That's going to give them passion because they're working towards something that they really believe in. So the only thing that I've been able to see is just positive, you know, just a positive spirit about it because it's something that they have a passion for.
Now, let's talk about player wellness. What specifically is your function?
So my function as Director of Player Wellness is essentially to be an advocate and a support for our players as well as the organization. So in terms of, you know, like mental health and mental wellness is really where I speak to. So if the player is going through any type of issue, if there's a concern on the field, off the field, I'm basically there to be able to assist them through that. And in terms of, you know, just from the organizational standpoint, and that, you know, my services are offered for anyone that needs assistance within the Carolina Panthers, you know, family. If you have a question about how to find a therapist, if you have an issue that you're, you know, having off the field, you know, with family or relationships, I'm there for that as well. Just essentially to be a resource or a connector for things that they may need.
Now, most of these players, they have an enormous amount of stress that they have to deal with, but sometimes it can become overwhelming. Walk us through what you do when when those instances happen, when they are just simply overwhelmed by some of life's experiences?
So it looks different for each person.
Yeah.
What might be overwhelming for one player, what I might perceive might be overwhelming, it really may not be. So I'll say that it is different. It just varies from person to person. In terms of, you know, just a therapeutic relationship in general, the way that I might speak to one player about what's going on or the type of interventions I use may not be the same for another. Very much, you know, as part of the therapeutic relationship is being able to tailor your services directly to that person.
Right, right.
So listening, being open, hearing their frustrations, and again, providing them with applicable ways that they can navigate through that issue. But again, it'll vary from person to person.
So why player wellness? Why did you choose this field?
Good question. So, you know, when I was a little girl, I always had this, you know, thought of, you know, someone laying on my couch and me standing there with the notepad, you know, just dictating everything they're saying and really trying to help them through, you know, life's challenges. Yeah. So I got my bachelor's degree from Winston-Salem State University, go Rams, HBCU pride, and I got my bachelor's in psychology with a minor in sociology. Then I went to USC Columbia, and I got my master's in really administrative social work. But during that time, I realized that I just had a passion and a niche for being able to help people through life's challenges, you know, whatever that might be. If you're having a relationship issue, if you're having a marriage issue, if you're having just being stuck in life, you know, type of issue, I want to be able to help you through that. So that's really where the power, you know, the passion for it came. I recognized that there was, you know, especially in athletes, at one period of time, you just kept seeing a lot of information about suicides and, you know, players getting arrested for, you know, various things, aggressive behaviors, you know. So I recognized that I wanted to be able to, I knew that wasn't the whole story. Right, right. So I wanted to be able to help them through those issues. You know, I wanted to be able to be a resource and an advocate to say, hey, you know what, there is another way. Or to say, you know what, it's okay not to be okay. Whether you're in a hyper-masculine environment like football or whether you're, you know, the average everyday person, you know, working a 9 to 5. It's okay not to be okay. And I really wanted that to be my message and to say, you know, I don't have it all figured out. I want to go and get help. I need assistance to be able to get out of this, you know, life transition. So you've never considered a different trajectory in terms of your career? No. No? And I know that sounds, you know, weird, but I went in, you know, to undergrad 4 years straight, no summer school. I knew what I wanted to do. There really wasn't any doubt or hesitation in my mind. I knew that I would always be here. I didn't necessarily know in what capacity. But I knew I was going to be in a profession where I was helping people, and that's what I really wanted to drive home. So walk us through the moment you received the call from the Carolina Panthers, and they say, yes, Tish Guerin, we want you aboard. Walk us through that moment. Surprised. That was just the first thing. I was surprised, you know, when I got the call. Not surprised in the sense of, oh my goodness, I can't believe this has happened to me, but in a sense of, wow, everything I prayed for, you know, the fasting, the believing, you know, the holding true to my faith, recognizing that, you know, when passion and preparedness and faith all intersect for your divine purpose. Absolutely. And so that's where I felt like I was at that moment, you know, when I received the call was, God, you heard me, you know. This is where I said I wanted to be. This is what I said I wanted to do. This is where I felt like my calling was. So I was just, you know, pure excitement. You know, I'm a Charlotte native, you know, hometown girl, you know, one of the few unicorns, you know, out here that is, you know, a Charlotte native. But I knew that this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to be a part of my hometown team. Yeah. Now, some people have careers, some people have jobs. When you write your book, when you write the last page of your book, how would you characterize your time with the Panthers? Is it a career or is it a job? This is my career. More importantly than career, it's my passion. You know, if I'm not spending time, you know, with the team, You know, I'll take very few, you know, interviews. I don't really do a lot of them.
Oh, I feel
Ron, you should feel
so privileged. I'm honored. Absolutely.
Because, you know, I've turned down some because I want to be with the guys, you know, like I want to be there for them, because it is my career and it is my passion, and I love it. So when I think of just, you know, long term, you know, just down the line, I want to say that I was able to give my all and help, you know, our teammates, our organizations in some way be the best versions of themselves. So, and that's what I want for my career long term.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, if Panther fans would like more information about ticket purchases, apparel, player information, stats, game information, where can they go?
So you can go to www.panthers.com. The website is very easy to navigate. So it really breaks it down from who's on the team, community initiatives and activities, roster, how to purchase tickets is very, very easy, very forward.
All right, Tish, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Listen, if you would like more information about the Carolina Panthers or Tish Guerin, certainly you can log on to our websites, 1053rnb.com and praisecharlotte.com. Thank you so much. We'll talk with you next week.